Hey everyone, so I have given Milo Stewart some shit. Now it's my turn to give her tranny faggot friend, not Milo, Riley some shit. And to be quite honest, this is just my opinion, his voice is nowhere nearly as high-pitched or as annoying as Milo Stewart's. Let's get this video started, shall we?
Hey everybody, I'm
Hello, tranny faggot.
Riley, and I get this question a lot. Wait, so you're a girl?
You're not a girl. You just happen to be a cross-dresser who likes pussy.
You're a trans woman, but you're also non-binary? How is that possible?
You never were trans. Either get your dick cut off and the fake boob implants and transition, or go back to being my personal sex slave. If you're gonna go back to being my personal sex slave, get rid of the makeup and shave all of your hair off and give it to a cancer patient. Sorry, I just felt like saying that. In case you haven't picked up on that, it was a fucking joke. And if you don't know, I do condemn sex slavery. It's not a pretty thing.
I thought non-binary meant neither woman nor man. How can
Non-binary does not exist.
you be both? That's the polite version. Usually it's not so polite, but
Gee, I wonder why. Because you and your social justice buddies make plenty of us in the LGBT community look bad. And I actually kind of just got home actually from the synagogue and had to babysit a bunch of brats. I fucking hate children and I hate the nursery. And I was looking earlier about this thing of, I found out on Tumblr it was called Gays Against Feminism. Finally. Oh, hold on, there we go, so you can't see his ugly face.
the explanation for this is actually really simple. It just involves adding one word to your definition of non-binary.
There we go.
The common misconception is that a non-binary person is neither a man nor a woman, but actually
Non-binary is just a bunch of shit Tumblr made up.
a non-binary person is someone who is neither strictly a man nor a woman. It's not that
In other words, somebody who is confused.
binary people can't be men or women, it's just that they're not just men or just women. They're not binary.
So if I call it, am I suppressing you? If I call you it, will you get offended with me?
Men or binary women. Right, because they're aliens. That's not a very nice.
Dude, stop trying to be funny. You never were funny. So, social justice warriors should not do comedy.
Thing to say. No, like good kind of aliens, like Kryptonians, like Superman or Supergirl. Not like War of the Worlds kind of aliens. They just have superpowers. No, you can't tell.
First of all, the aliens from War of the Worlds were not aliens. They were Martians. There's a difference.
No, we don't. We totally don't have superpowers. That's, not true. Not true at all.
God, I wish we lived in the Marvel universe or DC universe. That'd be cool. I've always wanted to be a shapeshifter. That's so much fun, though.
But our genders do come in a pretty wide range, because non-binary is just an umbrella term for a whole range of gender identities. It can include people who are agender, gender fluid, gender flux, gender queer, androgen, nutoi, demigirl, demiboy.
Those are not real genders or sexualities. And what the fuck is gender flux and neutrois? Neutroi. I mean, what is that? I mean, I just found out. I don't know this stuff. I mean, a few months ago I found out what cis was. Someone explained it to me. Are we done creating these bullshit genders and sexualities? I would hope so by now.
And so on. And because gender is such a personal thing, everyone experiences it differently. So someone might feel that they're more of a man on one day, but then more agender on another day. And they could be
Why must we have a bad name put on us by these people? Just why? Oh, well, I wonder what Milo Yiannopoulos is doing. And if you all are wondering, no, Milo Yiannopoulos is not alright.
Both a man and non-binary. Because gender is a spectrum, and you don't have to identify on that spectrum, or even...
Tantos ser tantos. Oh, what's that? Did I misgender you? Good. Fuck you. The gender spectrum. Great, more Tumblr bullshit.
in the same place on that spectrum all the time. For me, I feel like I'm far enough to the girl side of the spectrum to...
No, you're not. You're just confused. And by the looks of it, you're not in bad shape either. You just happen to be a boy who likes to wear women's clothes. And that you claim you're a transgender lesbian, which makes no sense. I mean, you're a guy, I'm sorry. You know, the topic of transgender and transsexual is a rather complicated issue. So I have mixed feelings about it.
consider myself a girl, but I also feel kind of gender neutral. It's like my gender just...
Gender neutral? Oy vey.
around that general side of the spectrum. So there are a lot of ways I could describe that. I could say trans feminine, or femme non-binary, or just non-binary woman.
What the fuck are these? Trans feminine And people wonder why I would love to go back 3 years ago. Well, actually, it's going on 4 now. Yeah. Because of this shit right here. You know, I'm not happy that Donald Trump won either, but at least I'm willing to give the guy a chance to prove himself. Hopefully the social justice shit will go down. Will decline, I mean. But give Donald a chance. And if he doesn't keep up to his promises, I'll be one of the first people to point him out and say, I wish some of the third party had won now. Because keep in mind, I don't like Hillary either. Even though I follow the two. What? So what? I follow Gary Johnson and Jill Stein on Twitter, so fucking what?
I don't feel like...
I also follow Mauricio Macri and Michelle... Oh, God. Michelle Bachelet. Yeah, there we go. I was about to say Michelle Bachmann for a moment.
binary trans
Oh, that will be a video later.
woman, but I also don't feel like the word non-binary fully describes my experience. I'm like right in the middle, and it turns out there's not...
So you are transitioning? So what, when you do transition, so what kind of cup size are you going to get?
perfect word to describe someone in that part of the spectrum. So the next question that generally comes up is my pronouns. How can I be non-binary if I use...
Oh god, I hate these stupid pronouns. These, theirs, there, what the fuck?
her pronouns? Well, I'd love it if there was a specific pronoun for my part of the spectrum. If there was a pronoun
Oh, so you do want me to use they and them.
that was in between she, her, and they, them, I would use it.
Shay? Him? What is our world coming to?
But that just doesn't exist. I do like they, them pronouns. I have no problem with people referring to me that way. I just generally tell people that my pronouns are she, her for the sake of simplicity. It involves less explaining, less arguing.
You're a guy.
Less trying...
I know you're not a tranny. And I'm sure I got a bunch of trannies pissed off at me. And Milo Stewart is not a ladyboy either. God, I feel bad for these transgender people. You know, this is why people hate the LGBT community. It's because of you so-called trans people who are actually transgenders. Being trans is not a trend.
Convince them that those are legitimate pronouns. And also, I just like the feminine feeling of being called she or her. But that doesn't mean that.
So, in other words, you like being called a sissy. Well, I'm not the only one who likes verbal abuse.
Any less non-binary. She/her pronouns aren't only for binary women. And in a society where there's a ton of pressure to use he or she pronouns, I don't think you can fault non-binary people for just wanting to use what's easier.
Actually, it's the other way around, Riley. No wonder the Muslims hate the West because of people like this.
Sometimes. On the flip side of all of this, some people feel that they are just a man or just a woman, and those people would be binary men or binary women. They could be transgender, like someone who was assigned female at birth but now identifies as a man, or they could be cisgender.
What?
Like someone who was assigned male at birth and now identifies as a man. But
I have no comments on this.
I want to create this whole binary people versus non-binary people divide. In fact, I think binary trans people have a lot more in common with non-binary
Binary trans... more Tumblrisms, I swear to God.
people than they often realize. That's because being transgender just means you don't identify with the gender you were assigned at birth. Some
No shit, Sherlock.
people argue that the trans prefix means transition, and that to be transgender means.
Yes, it does. It should mean transition. Yes, I'm aware not everyone can fully transition. Either they don't have enough money or some medical condition. As my friend Liz Reptile said, you just gotta find a way to get through and with what you have downstairs. Even if you have to hide it some way.
Have to have transition, but I think that definition is terribly outdated and doesn't account for the fact that some people are never able.
Outdated? Well, yes and no.
Or don't want to transition in the way that society has defined that. So by that first definition, non-binary people are also trans. Not all non-binary people identify as trans.
None but...
That's fine, but the experiences of binary trans people and non-binary people all have the common thread of not being cisgender. That is,
I'm gonna say this. I'd rather hang out with an alt-right person than a social justice warrior. And this is coming from a Latino Jew who has family down in Argentina. Well, actually, let me take that back. I'd rather hang out with an alt-right person rather than a social justice warrior. And this is coming from a white Latino bisexual Jew who has family down in Argentina and Chile. Yeah, I said it. But I will say this, it is a headache with some of these alt-right people who bring up the conspiracy theories. It's like, where did some of these conspiracy theories come from?
not identifying completely with the gender you were assigned at birth. So yes, you can be trans.
And also keep in mind, there are alt-right Jews. Well, very far-right Jews. In fact, a lot of Italian Jews are very, very right-leaning. And I met most of the Italian-American Jews I met are Republicans. Why, you may ask? I don't know. And please don't ask me, why do Ashkenazi Jews are so left-leaning? How the fuck should I know? I'm not Ashkenazi, I'm fucking Sephardic.
And non-binary. And in fact, when I use the word trans as a broad umbrella term, I do include non-binary people under that. So that's all there is to it. Non-binary people are also sometimes men or women, and non-binary people can also be trans, and they can have superpowers, but that's only like 1 in every 250 of us. So I knew it. This video is a part of my Feminism with Riley series that I'm doing in collaboration.
Hey, Riley, how many feminists are abusing you? Are you being abused like Steve Shives? I wonder what Riley's tears taste like. Introducing Coors Light. Tears of Shives and Tears of Riley.
With Everyday Feminism, a website.
Fuck everyday feminism. I'm sorry, but... Yes, I know there are some reasonable feminists, but... third wave feminism has turned it into something of... I'm not sure what to describe it, but... if you don't agree with us, you're a bigot type of thing. And there are some things I do agree with feminism on. However, I have rather mixed feelings about abortion because at the same time, we cannot go back to the coat hangers in back alleys. A few months ago, there was a big feminist riot in Rosario. And for the most of you who don't know, Rosario is Argentina's third largest city. It's not one of the best cities in our... I wouldn't say it's the best or the worst, but there's a lot of stuff going on in Rosario. And abortion is legal down there. From what I've heard, 500,000 illegal abortions are done each year. That's a very high number. I mean, we can't be doing banditing. This is something for another day. Because I'm sorry, we cannot go back to the coat hangers in the back alley.
Dedicated to helping you stand up to and break down everyday oppression. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed...
But then again, we can't... I mean, at the same time, it should be your choice to give up the baby if you want. I mean, I have the same view on the death penalty. I think the death penalty should be a choice. Do you want to die or not?
This video, please remember to share it and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.
And is it over yet?
For the sake of simplicity. For the sake of simplicity.
Dude, stop being funny. You're not funny. And that's the end of this, thank God.
Talking about transgender issues.